I and mine are false ideas. I'm very much attached to my family and possessions. How can I conquer this attachment? This attachment is born along with the sense of me and mine. Find the true meaning of these words and you will be free of all bondage. You have a mind which is spread in time. One after another, all things happen to you, and the memory remains. There is nothing wrong in it. The problem arises only when the memory of past pains and pleasures, which are essential to all organic life, remains as a reflex, dominating behavior. This reflex takes the shape of I, and uses the body and the mind for its purposes, which are invariably in search for pleasure or flight from pain. When you recognize the I as it is, a bundle of desires and fears, and the sense of mine as embracing all things and people needed for the purpose of avoiding pain and securing pleasure, you will see that the I and the mine are false ideas, having no foundation in reality. Created by the mind, they rule their creator as long as it takes them to be true. When questioned, they dissolve. The I and the mine have no existence in themselves, need a support which they find in the body. The body becomes their point of reference. When you talk of my husband and my children, you mean the body's husband and the body's children. Give up the idea of being the body and face the question, who am I? At once a process will be set in motion which will bring back reality, or rather will take the mind to reality, only you must not be afraid. What am I to be afraid of? For reality to be, the ideas of me and mine must go. They will go if you let them. Then your normal, natural state reappears, in which you are neither the body nor the mind, neither the me nor the mine, but in a different state of being altogether. It is pure awareness of being, without being this or that, without any self-identification with anything in particular or in general. In that pure light of consciousness, there is nothing, not even the idea of nothing. There is only light. There are people whom I love. Must I give them up? You only let go your hold on them. The rest is up to them. They may lose interest in you or may not. How could they? Are they not my own? They are your bodies, not your own. Or better, there is none who is not your own. And what about my possessions? When the mine is no more, where are your possessions? Please tell me, must I lose all by losing the I? You may or may not. It will be all the same to you. Your loss will be somebody's gain. You will not mind. If I do not mind, shall I lose all? Once you have nothing, you have no problems. I am left with the problem of survival. It is the body's problem, and it will solve it by eating, drinking, and sleeping. There is enough for all, provided all share. Our society is based on grabbing, not on sharing. By sharing, you will change it. I do not feel like sharing. Anyhow, I am being taxed out of my possessions. This is not the same as voluntary sharing. Society will not change by compulsion. It requires a change of heart. Understand that nothing is your own, that all belongs to all. Then only society will change. One man's understanding will not take the world far. The world in which you live will be affected deeply. It will be a healthy and happy world, which will radiate and communicate, increase and spread. The power of a true heart is immense. Please tell me more. Talking is not my hobby. Sometimes I talk, sometimes I do not. My talking or not talking is a part of a given situation and does not depend on me. When there is a situation in which I have to talk, I hear myself talking. In some other situation, I may not hear myself talking. It is all the same to me, whether I talk or not. The light and love of being what I am are not affected, nor are they under my control. They are, and I know they are. There is a glad awareness, but nobody who is glad. Of course, there is a sense of identity, but it is the identity of a memory track, like the identity of a sequence of pictures on the ever-present screen. Without the light and the screen, there can be no picture. To know the picture as the play of light on the screen gives freedom from the idea that the picture is real. All you have to do is to understand that you love the self, and the self loves you, and that the sense I am is the link between you both, a token of identity in spite of apparent diversity. Look at the I am as a sign of love between the inner and the outer, the real and the appearance. Just like in a dream, all is different except the sense of I, which enables you to say, I dreamt. So does the sense of I am enable you to say, I am my real self again. I do nothing nor is anything done to me. I am what I am and nothing can affect me. I appear to depend on everything, but in fact all depends on me. How can you say you do nothing? Are you not talking to me? I do not have the feeling that I am talking. There is talking going on, that is all. I talk. Do you? You hear yourself talking and you say I talk. Everybody says I work, I come, I go. I have no objection to the conventions of your language, but they distort and destroy reality. A more accurate way of saying would have been, there is talking, working, coming, going. For anything to happen, the entire universe must coincide. It is wrong to believe that anything in particular can cause an event. Every cause is universal. Your very body would not exist without the entire universe contributing to its creation and survival. I am fully aware that things happen as they happen because the world is as it is. To affect the course of events, I must bring a new factor into the world, and such factor can only be myself, the power of love and understanding focused in me. When the body is born, all kinds of things happen to it and take part in them, because you take yourself to be the body. You are like the man in the cinema house, laughing and crying with the picture, though knowing fully well that he is all the time in his seat and the picture is but the play of light. It is enough to shift attention from the screen to oneself to break the spell. When the body dies, the kind of life you live now, succession of physical and mental events comes to an end. It can end, even now, without waiting for the death of the body. It is enough to shift attention to the self and keep it there. All happens as if there is a mysterious power that creates and moves everything. Realize that you are not the mover, only the observer, and you will be at peace. Is that power separate from me? Of course not, but you must begin by being the dispassionate observer. Then only will you realize your full being as the universal lover and actor. As long as you are enmeshed in the tribulations of a particular personality, you can see nothing beyond it. But ultimately you will come to see that you are neither the particular nor the universal. You are beyond both. As the tiny point of a pencil can draw innumerable pictures, so does the dimensionless point of awareness draw the contents of the vast universe. Find that point and be free. Of what do I create this world? Out of your own memories. As long as you are ignorant of yourself as the creator, your world is limited and repetitive. Once you go beyond your self-identification with your past, you are free to create a new world of harmony and beauty. Or you just remain beyond being and non-being. What will remain with me if I let go of my memories? Nothing will remain. I am afraid. You will be afraid until you experience freedom and its blessings. Of course, some memories are needed to identify and guide the body, and such memories do remain. But there is no attachment left to the body as such. It is no longer the ground for desire or fear. All this is not very difficult to understand and practice, but you must be interested. Without interest, nothing can be done. Having seen that you are a bundle of memories held together by attachment, step out and look from the outside. You may perceive for the first time something which is not memory. You cease to be a Mr. So-and-so, busy about your own affairs. You are at last peace. You realize that nothing was ever wrong with the world. You alone were wrong, and now it is all over. Never again will you be caught in the meshes of desire born of ignorance. All knowledge is ignorance. Are we permitted to request you to tell us the manner of your realization? Somehow it was very simple and easy in my case. My guru, before he died, told me, "Believe me, you are the supreme reality. Don't doubt my words. Don't disbelieve me. I am telling you the truth. Act on it." I could not forget his words, and by not forgetting, I have realized. But what were you actually doing? Nothing special. I lived my life, plied my trade, looked after my family, and every moment I would spend just remembering my guru and his words. He died soon after, and I had only the memory to fall back on. It was enough. It must have been the grace and power of your guru. His words were true, and so they came true. True words always come true. My guru did nothing. His words acted because they were true. Whatever I did came from within, unasked and unexpected. The guru started a process without taking any part in it. Put it as you like, things happen as they happen. Who can tell why and how? I did nothing deliberately. All came by itself. The desire to let go, to be alone, to go within. You made no efforts whatsoever? None. Believe it or not, I was not even anxious to realize. He only told me that I am the Supreme and then died. I just could not disbelieve him. The rest happened by itself. I found myself changing, that is all. As a matter of fact, I was astonished. But a desire arose in me to verify his words. I was so sure that he could not possibly have told a lie, that I felt I shall either realize the full meaning of his words or die. I was feeling quite determined, but did not know what to do. I would spend hours thinking of him and his assurance, not arguing, but just remembering what he told me. What happened to you then? How did you know that you are the Supreme? Nobody came to tell me, nor was I told so inwardly. In fact, it was only in the beginning, when I was making efforts, that I was passing through some strange experiences, seeing lights, hearing voices, meeting gods and goddesses, and conversing with them. Once the guru told me, "You are the supreme reality," I ceased having visions and trances and became very quiet and simple. I found myself desiring and knowing less and less, until I could say in utter astonishment, "I know nothing. I want nothing." Were you genuinely free of desire and knowledge, or did you impersonate a jnani according to the image given to you by your guru? I was not given any image, nor did I have one. My guru never told me what to expect. More things may happen to you. Are you at the end of your journey? There was never any journey. I am as I always was. What was the supreme reality you were supposed to reach? I was undeceived, that is all. I used to create a world and populate it. Now I don't do it anymore. Where do you live then? In the void beyond being and non-being, beyond consciousness. This void is also fullness. Do not pity me. It is like a man saying, "I have done my work, there is nothing left to do." You are giving a certain date to your realization. It means something did happen to you at that date. What happened? The mind ceased producing events. The ancient and ceaseless search stopped. I wanted nothing, expected nothing, accepted nothing as my own. There was no me left to survive for. Even the bare I am faded away. The other thing that I noticed was that I lost all habitual certainties. Earlier I was sure of so many things. Now I am sure of nothing. But I feel that I have lost nothing by not knowing, because all my knowledge was false. My not knowing was in itself knowledge of the fact that all knowledge is ignorance, that I do not know is the only true statement the mind can make. Take the idea, I was born. You may take it to be true. It is not. You were never born, nor will you ever die. It is the idea that was born and shall die, not you. By identifying yourself with it, you became mortal. Just like in the cinema, all is light. So does consciousness become the vast world. Look closely, and you will see that all names and forms are but transitory waves on the ocean of consciousness, that only consciousness can be said to be, not its transformations. In the immensity of consciousness, a light appears, a tiny point that moves rapidly and traces shapes, thoughts and feelings, concepts and ideas, like the pen writing on the paper. And the ink that leaves a trace is memory. You are that tiny point, and by your movement the world is ever created. Stop moving, and there will be no world. Look within, and you will find that the point of light is the reflection of the immensity of light in the body as the sense I am. There is only light. All else appears. Do you know that light? Have you seen it? To the mind, it appears as darkness. It can be known only through its reflections. All is seen in daylight except daylight. Have I to understand that our minds are similar? How can it be? You have your own private mind woven with memories, held together by desires and fears. I have no mind of my own. What I need to know the universe brings before me as it supplies the food I eat. Do you know all you want to know? There is nothing I want to know. But what I need to know, I come to know. Does this knowledge come to you from within or from outside? It does not apply. My inner is outside and my outer is inside. I may get from you the knowledge needed at the moment, but you are not apart from me. What is Turiya, the fourth state we hear about? To be the point of light, tracing the world, is Turiya. To be the light itself is Turiyatita. But of what use are names when reality is so near? Is there any progress in your condition? When you compare yourself yesterday with yourself today, do you find yourself changing, making progress? Does your vision of reality grow in width and depth? Reality is immovable and yet in constant movement. It is like a mighty river. It flows and yet it is there eternally. What flows is not the river with its bed and banks, but its water. So does the Sattva Guna, the universal harmony, play its games against Tamas and Rajas, the forces of darkness and despair. In Sattva there is always change and progress. In Rajas there is change and regress, while Tamas stands for chaos. The three gunas play eternally against each other. It is a fact, and there can be no quarrel with a fact. Must I always go dull with tamas and desperate with rajas? What about sattva? Sattva is the radiance of your real nature. You can always find it beyond the mind and its many worlds. But if you want a world, you must accept the three gunas as inseparable: matter, energy, life, one in essence, distinct in appearance. They mix and flow in consciousness. In time and space there is eternal flow, birth and death again. Advance, retreat, another advance, again retreat. Apparently without a beginning and without end, reality being timeless, changeless, bodiless, mindless awareness is bliss. I understand that according to you, everything is a state of consciousness. The world is full of things. A grain of sand is a thing, a planet is a thing. How are they related to consciousness? Where consciousness does not reach, matter begins. A thing is a form of being which we have not understood. It does not change. It is always the same. It appears to be there on its own. Something strange and alien. Of course, it is in the chit, consciousness, but appears to be outside because of its apparent changelessness. The foundation of things is in memory. Without memory, there would be no recognition. Creation, reflection, rejection, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. This is the eternal process. All things are governed by it. Is there no escape? I am doing nothing else but showing the escape. Understand that the One includes the three, and that you are the One, and you shall be free of the world process. What happens then to my consciousness? After the stage of creation comes the stage of examination and reflection, and finally the stage of abandonment and forgetting. The consciousness remains, but in a latent, quiet state. Does the state of identity remain? The state of identity is inherent in reality and never fades. But identity is neither the transient personality, Vyakti, nor the karma-bound individuality, Vyakta. It is what remains when all self-identification is given up as false, pure consciousness, the sense of being all there is or could be. Consciousness is pure in the beginning and pure in the end. In between, it gets contaminated by imagination, which is at the root of creation. At all times, consciousness remains the same. To know it as it is realization and timeless peace. Is the sense I am real or unreal? Both. It is unreal when we say, I am this, I am that. It is real when we mean, I am not this nor that. The knower comes and goes with the known, and is transient. But that which knows that it does not know, which is free of memory and anticipation, is timeless. Is the I am itself the witness, or are they separate? Without one, the other cannot be, yet they are not one. It is like the flower and its color. Without flower, no colors. Without color, the flower remains unseen. Beyond is the light which on contact with the flower creates the color. Realize that your true nature is that of pure light only, and both the perceived and the perceiver come and go together. That which makes both possible, and yet is neither, is your real being, which means not being a this or that, but pure awareness of being and not being. When awareness is turned on itself, the feeling is of not knowing. When it is turned outward, the knowables come into being. To say, I know myself is a contradiction in terms, for what is known cannot be myself. If the self is forever the unknown, what then is realized in self-realization? To know that the known cannot be me nor mine is liberation enough. Freedom from self-identification with a set of memories and habits, the state of wonder at the infinite reaches of the being, its inexhaustible creativity and total transcendence, the absolute fearlessness born from the realization of the illusory and transiency of every mode of consciousness, flow from a deep and inexhaustible source. To know the source, and appearance as appearance, and oneself as the source only, is self-realization. On what side is the witness? Is it real or unreal? Nobody can say, I am the witness. The I am is always witnessed. The state of detached awareness is the witness consciousness, the mere mind. It rises and sets with its object, and thus it is not quite the real. Whatever its object, it remains the same, hence it is also real. It partakes of both the real and the unreal, and is therefore a bridge between the two. If all happens only to the I am, if the I am is the known and the knower, and the knowledge itself, what does the witness do? Of what use is it? It does nothing, and is of no use whatsoever. Then why do we talk of it? Because it is there. The bridge serves one purpose only, to cross over. You don't build houses on a bridge. The I am looks at things, the witness sees through them. It sees them as they are, unreal and transient. To say, not me, not mine, is the task of the witness. Is it the manifested saguna by which the unmanifested nirguna is represented? The unmanifested is not represented. Nothing manifested can represent the unmanifested. Then why do you talk of it? Because it is my birthplace.